I say that a lot, don't I? Okay, so pretty much that's the start of every video I do. Okay, so what we had here was the Stihl MS400 versus the Husqvarna 268. And what do we know? Well, now that we've done this comparison, they are very close. The Stihl does oust it as we expected. However, I'm thinking that with a simple muffler mod, that 268 might be right there with it. Which, if that's the case, wow, am I shocked by that. I thought that Stihl was just going to demolish it, just murdered. But they were pretty close, you know. I mean, I don't know. I haven't edited the video. Actually, yes, I have. I might be able to see right here. Maybe. Turn this down. There we go. So... bam. Make my mark right there. I'll be able to tell you just a second. Hang in there with me. There we go. So the Husqvarna was almost exactly 1 second slower than the Stihl 400. You got to think, one second is a long time. It is. It's a long time. But yeah, it was just 1 second slower, and that was the gentle glide down the shaft. I don't have time to go back and check on everything, but yeah, it was 1 second slower. I think the Stihl got it in like 13 seconds, and the Husqvarna got it in like 14 seconds. Oh, that ain't much. Considering, especially, that's not a 268 XP. Now, I got to thinking about it more and more, and this 268, I think, is akin to the way that Husqvarna does the 572 XP versus the 565, right? The 565 is more of the semi-pro build for farm and ranchers and things like that, versus the 572 XP is that's full tilt, turned up as far as Husqvarna is willing to turn it up, and there you have it. So that's the 268 versus the 268 XP. So this is the slower of the two. So a 268, one can only assume, a 268 XP, one can only assume that it would be able to beat the MS400. We will find out, because, well, maybe we will. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold back on modifying that 400. See, a lot of y'all are like, yeah, do a muffler mod, port and polish and stuff like that. And I get that. I really do. But I'm thinking of things like, I have this channel to run, and I still have yet to be able to put the 400 in the 14x14 red oak cant that I use for my whack-offs. And so until I can do that, I do not have a good repeatable test bed for a stock MS400. And the MS400 is like a cash cow to me. I got it because it was good for the channel, and I wanted it too. I lusted over that thing like crazy, you know, but finally I pulled the trigger whenever the channel actually started making a little bit of money, and I could justify buying it, because it is a very, very nice saw. There's more to, I got to give it its propers. There's more to running a saw than how much power it has. That MS400 is silky smooth. It is nice. It is freshly shaved legs on your woman. It is very nice. But power wise, I mean, here you see it. It's going up against not only a 30-year-old design, but also the lower end of the design. The 268 has open transfer ports, quasi-open transfer ports. It's not the hot rod. It's not the hot rod. I have the ability to turn it into a hot rod. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to port and polish this cylinder that's on there. Somebody said it. I can't remember which one of y'all. But you said that I should, just port that cylinder that's on this 268. And if I don't like it, I can always change it. You are correct, my good man. That is exactly what I'm going to do. And since I have 3 of these saws. I have a 268, which you just see running right now. I have a 266 SE. And I think the other one is also, I think maybe it's a 266 XP. But it also could be just a 268. Point is I have different platforms to work off of so that I can take this 268, I can port and polish it, and then I can compare it to a closed port 268 setup and see which one I like better. Corey, you had mentioned that the 268 runs really well with a windowed piston, and it creates a better, broader power band. I tend to favor a broader power band. That's why I like the 545 Husqvarna more than the 550, because I like that broad power band of the 545. It may not be exactly as fast, but I like it. It's got good torque, got a nice broad power band, so I might end up liking this quasi-open port setup of this 268 better than a 268 XP closed port cylinder. We'll see. If you can, Corey, put in the comments why a windowed piston. I don't think that would make any difference whatsoever on the open port cylinder. I know if you crisscross them the other way around, a closed port cylinder with a closed piston is detrimental. It won't run right at all. It'll be weak. But why put a windowed piston in this open port 268 setup? Explain that to me if you got time. But I get what it could possibly do. In my mind, though, all that's going to do is slow down your velocity. And because you're essentially adding more crankcase volume whenever you add a windowed piston. And I think it would slow down velocity. But I am very interested to hear what you have to say and possibly learn something. Maybe I'm wrong. I have a 268 XP windowed Meteor piston. I have one in the garage, so I could easily throw it in there if you can convince me that's the way I should go. But so if this 268 did as well as it did, I mean, that's a saw. Now, granted, I understand I got a smoking good deal on it. Smoking good deal. I got climbing spikes. I got climbing the belt with the rope to throw around the tree to climb. And I got this 268 chainsaw. And the 268, it's minty fresh. It's really nice. It's in great shape. So I got an outstanding deal. But I got that whole setup for $125. Yes. So realistically, what do I have in this Husqvarna 268? Let's say $75. $75, and it hung right in there with that Stihl. Now, I understand if you guys are pros and you're wanting to the warranty, I get it. Also, the M-Tronic is fantastic if you have workers that don't know how to adjust a saw, or if you don't know how to adjust a saw. The carburetor, I mean. So the M-Tronic is, they've gotten good. The M-Tronic and the auto-tune both. They've really gotten very, very good. So anyways, I'm getting messages. Yeah. So the 268 performed pretty damn good. Didn't it? I mean, truly, gosh, that thing performed very, very well. Is it worth? Maybe I should do a video about this, you know. I'm an enthusiast, okay? So I don't see things the way that a pro would see them. So, you know, but is that 400? Was it worth $1,000? Whenever I got this 268 for $75. I mean, it's just like, wow. And this is stuff like this. This is what us enthusiasts love whenever we get a killer deal on a good saw. I mean, that's just the best. $75 for this 268. Oh, that is sweetness right there. But I mean, like, if the anti-vibe on that 268 is worlds behind the anti-vibe on that MS400. That 400 is so silky smooth. It's very nice. And it's fast too. It's fast. And I've yet to do a muffler mod to it. I've yet to port it or anything. You know, it's fast. It's really proven itself. So anyways, yeah. But I bet you with break-in goes and stuff like that, I bet you both of these saws have about 8 tanks ran through them. I know that the Stihl does. It's on its 8th tank. And the Husqvarna, though, it's so clean. It's so clean. I bet you it's probably only got 8 or 10 tanks in it, too. So they're probably pretty close to about the same break-in rate. Anyways, that's enough for this video. Next up with this series, we're going to see if the 620 Direwolf that I ported and built and everything, if it can beat this Husqvarna 268. You know, that thing is giving up a hefty amount of displacement, you know. So we will see if it can overcome this 268, and then if it does, then it'll move on. And well, even if it doesn't, it'll move on and it'll take on the Stihl MS400. We'll put those two head to head and see which one comes out on top. But anyways, that's enough for this video.